Hi, welcome back. This is Lieutenant Gaming 57, and we have the second battle report in my space battle campaign. So, these are the enemy forces. They've got 3 frigates, a destroyer, 1 regular cruiser, they've got 1 aircraft carrier, and they've got 2 triremes. So that could be a problem. This trireme also has an air wing. You can see it here. So they've basically got 2 aircraft carriers and 2 triremes in one. This guy has 20 lives. This guy has 16. And that is it for the enemy forces. Now let's head to my forces. Okay, saving best for last, we've got 6 frigates and 1 destroyer. We've got 1 fast cruiser, 1 aircraft carrier, and 1 battleship equipped with a hyperphase distortion engine, which basically is a fancy word for it going 8 inches instead of 6. And now for the biggest and baddest ships of all time, except for the triremes. This is a dreadnought and the super battleship. So, those are my forces, and you've already seen the enemy's forces. We've got 1 air wing of 12 fighters. They've got 2 air wings of 12 fighters. So, here's the mission. The mission is this highly advanced ship has crashed. Oh, somehow it got stranded here. Maybe an engine failure. And both sides are trying to collect this part for the stealth technology. That is basically the entire point. If you can get this off the table, then you win. And any ship can take it. A frigate, a battleship, a cruiser, whatever. Okay, we've got the forces set up here. So we've got my forces and their forces. Okay. And that thing is squarely in the middle of the 2. On the UMC's first turn, all of the frigates move forward. The frigates have moved forward, and the aircraft carrier, Intrepid, decides to stay back and launches her aircraft. The battleship and fast cruiser also move forward, while the heavy battleship and dreadnought also move forward. But moving heavy battleships and dreadnoughts takes time that the US do not have. On the USC's turn, they move their trireme forward, but slowly, very slowly. They move both their triremes forward, and all of their frigates move forward, ready to open fire at a moment's notice with their plasma lasers. Their aircraft carrier elects not to launch aircraft yet, and instead moves forward, along with the cruiser. On my next turn, I moved all frigates forward and prepared to steal technology from the broken ship. The destroyer, USS Johnston, has docked with the enemy ship, with the broken ship, and prepares to steal the technology. The frigates are guarding the USS Johnston while it prepares to escape. I moved the fast cruiser forward and the fast battleship forward as well. The air wing was sent forward, torpedoes at the ready. The first shots were fired by the frigates in the front. They opened fire on the enemy frigates, annihilating one of them. A superheated laser blast tears through the hull, hitting the engine, and a superheated nova explodes. The 2 other frigates on the northern sector opened fire on the Great Behemoth trireme, managing a lucky score on one of the outside tanks. fast cruiser also pours laser and plasma fire into the great behemoth, but does little more than scratch the paint. The battleship follows suit with its main gun, faring little better. In the back of the battle, some long-range shots come from the heavy battleship and dreadnought, lightly damaging it. On the enemy's turn, they move their frigates and destroyers forward, getting into engagement range with my frigates. The massive trireme slowly moves forward and turns. It cannot turn very far, and so it can't bring its broadside into bear, but it can fire its turret-mounted weapon and the superheated charged plasma weapon in the front. It lets rip, obliterating frigate in a supernova explosion. The other frigates open fire on my frigates, and so do the destroyer. The destroyer misses, but the two frigates have extraordinary luck and explode two other frigates. The turret-mounted weapon on the behemoth opens fire at my fast cruiser. Most miss. Some hit the void shield, but one goes through and hits, damaging the upper hull. The HMS Arleigh Burke is down to 3 wounds remaining. Their other behemoth moves forward, as does the cruiser and the aircraft carrier, still electing not to launch the air wing. And that is the end of the enemy's turn. On my turn, I actually harvested the new technology and prepared to disembark. I sent my air wing over to bomb their aircraft carrier. 3 damage on the aircraft carrier. My lone frigate also opens fire on the aircraft carrier, doing little. My fast cruiser also moves forward to engage the aircraft carrier, and 2 other frigates also move forward to engage their destroyer. The frigates open fire, and one of them hits, scoring a lucky hit on the magazine. The destroyer explodes in a fiery ball of flame. The fast cruiser opens fire on their aircraft carrier. Their gunner is drunk and misses completely. The fast battleship, has had a feud with the fast cruiser for generations, and so decides to shoot at the aircraft carrier and best the battle cruiser. Most miss, 1 hits the void shield, and 1, with miraculous luck, hits the engine, getting a critical hit and exploding the aircraft carrier. Gone. My dreadnought moves forward, as does the fast battleship, and my carrier. The dreadnought opens fire on the small behemoth, managing a wound. However, the small dual-purpose guns on the front miss completely. The heavy battleship decides to open fire on the massive trireme, getting a critical and managing 6 wounds. Their trireme, leaking coolant, exploding and on fire, lists to port. On their turn, they move their frigates up to engage the destroyer, which has now stolen the technology from the ship, exploding it and making the technology fly into space. The technology is now floating in space, waiting to be picked up by another ship. The trireme launches its aircraft and stays still, opening fire on my dreadnought. The trireme can turn, however, and does so, turning its massive gun to bear on the fast cruiser. The void shields are ineffective, and the fast cruiser is obliterated. The turret-mounted gun turns and fires at the battleship. However, the gunner was hit by shrapnel in the blast and missed. Their cruiser moves up to fire at my aircraft carrier. But all of its weapons are ineffective. The last small trireme moves forward slowly and turns. The planes from the trireme open fire on my aircraft carrier. The planes don't manage a critical, but manage 4 wounds. In return, the aircraft carrier spews hot lead and obliterates 2 of the fighters, down to 10 fighters remaining. On my turn, the heavy battleship moved forward and took the tech out of the ocean, into space. It also opened fire on the enemy trireme. The massive enemy trireme's void shields were down for 3 seconds after the massive blast from last turn, and all shots went through, managing 1 critical and doing a total of 9 damage. The fast battleship moves in for the kill. However, the last vestiges of power let the void shields work, and none of the shots penetrate. 3 frigates move up to take it out. And for some miraculous reason, Luke Skywalker's among one of them, and chucks a bomb down the chute of the air runway, and the entire thing explodes, exploding 2 frigates and severely damaging the battleship in its wake. The heavy dreadnought opens fire on the enemy's cruiser, managing just 2 wounds. My air wing makes a strafing attack against the enemy trireme. 2 go through, and they both get criticals, taking 12 wounds off of the already heavily damaged trireme. The defensive array from the heavy battleship opens fire and manages 1 wound. The defensive array from my aircraft carrier opens fire, but misses sadly. The anti-aircraft fire takes down 3 of my fighters, leaving them at just 9. On the enemy's turn, they turn the trireme so that the broadside faces the heavy battleship. Fires, but their aiming calculator was off, and only manages 2 wounds. Their cruiser takes my aircraft carrier down to 1 wound. Their 2 frigates try to finish my aircraft carrier off, and my aircraft carrier lifts to one side and explodes. The air wing from the now dead massive trireme moves forward and makes a strafing run against the dreadnought, managing 3 wounds and taking me down to 5. For their trouble, their 2 more fighters are taken down. On my turn, I fire the dreadnought at their trireme, but they manage to block all of my shots. Next, my fast battleship moves up and takes a pot shot. By some miracle, it misses. The frigate also moves up and miraculously finds a gap in the impenetrable armor, finds the magazine, detonates. The entire ship blows up. My heavy battleship decides to retreat, having the cargo ready. On the enemy's turn, they move their air wing to make a strafing attack against my heavy battleship, managing 1 wound, but losing 2 fighters for their trouble. Their frigates and their cruiser moves up to also fire at my battleship, but everybody misses. On my turn, I move my battleship forward again. My dreadnought opens fire on the cruiser. The ion cannons miss, but the point defense cannons take out both of their frigates. My air wing turns around and fires at the cruiser, as does the frigate and the battleship. The planes mostly hit void shields, but 1 does go through. 3 fighters are shot down, leaving them with only 6. The frigate opens fire, miraculously taking it out with another lucky shot. Well, that was a really fun game. All of their ships were destroyed, and there's nothing they can do about it. They have 6 planes left, but that isn't going to do anything. They really can't take out anything. This guy, right here, gets the Award of Valor. He has literally taken out a cruiser, a trireme, and I think 2 other frigates. This frigate, the captain of this frigate needs to get his own trireme for that. He gets his own medal. He's very special. But enough about that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my battle report. I'd love to see the ships that you make. Please comment below if you like my game, or give me any feedback about what you think should be changed. Please like and subscribe. Over and out.